we witnessed a legendary performance by Kevin Durant. By now, you've seen all the highlights, but did you notice how and why Giannis wasn't guarding him on any of these possessions? Let me go deep and break down the hidden details that you may have missed. What up everybody, my name is Stefan and this is Heat Check. Let's get into it. First things first, let me start off by saying that I admire the courage of James Harden to go out there clearly injured and limited in what he could do, but regardless give everything he got. Although he looked awful and I kind of felt sorry for him at times. Watch how he's getting blown by guys in their first step. I know the joke was on him for years about his defense, but let me tell you, there is no way he gets abused on defense like this if he's healthy. Like, look at this. Counaghton just flies by him like there's nobody in front. And there were multiple instances where Harden's man created an advantage which resulted in a 3 for Milwaukee. And the situation was just as obvious offensively. 1 for 10 shooting, and you can clearly see that there's no burst of speed, no acceleration, just jogging up and down the court, trying to preserve that hamstring, which is where you fire off when you want to speed up. Still, despite all of that, Harden played almost 46 minutes, which is crazy. The team needed him to be on the court to just be a threat and have a defender close to him at all times, which, as we saw, was enough to open things up for KD to go ballistic. To me, however, the real hero of this game was Jeff Green. 7 for 8 from downtown, a scorching hot shooting night when nobody expected that from him. With virtually nobody else stepping up to help KD carry the load, Green was out there knocking down shot after shot, keeping the team within striking distance and allowing for that offensive explosion by their leader to secure a comeback. And that same leader was loud in praising these two guys, Harden and Green, for how they battled in this game.
Jeff Green was incredible tonight. James coming out here and thugging it out for us. Being another ball handler for us. I mean, I just think the second half we played extremely hard.
But let's now go to the main point of this video. Why and how did Kevin Durant score his 49 points, and could the Bucks players as well as the coaching staff have done something else to prevent this catastrophic outcome for them? This tweet by CJ McCollum might look weird at first glance, but let me decode it for you. This right here means easy money, and this is who that is. Easy Money Sniper on Instagram. So CJ is trying to say that while KD has been cooking in the second half, Giannis kept standing to the side guarding guys like Bruce Brown and Landry Shamet. Like for real, the Nets absolutely destroyed Milwaukee with this high screen for Durant, letting him get a head of steam, switch the primary defender off of him, and then Brook Lopez is left on an island here. He drops to protect the basket and KD just raises up and knocks down the jumper. This was exactly how Brooklyn cut down the lead in the third quarter, which was as big as 16 points and made this game very interesting. While that was in transition, in the fourth quarter in the half court, it was pretty much the same thing of just trying to get the main guy, whether PJ or Middleton, switched off of him. And once that happens, you can see how easy it is for Easy Money Sniper to get a shot up and splash it. And you can see throughout that whole time, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the 2020 Defensive Player of the Year and this year's first team All-Defense, is standing in the corner guarding guys who are nowhere near the threat of scoring 50 points in a game. And the media kind of pressed him on this topic in the post-game interview about him taking the challenge and guarding the best player in the series.
What do you think? Let's have a conversation.
The first two things that come to mind is you could have guarded him.
Me personally?
Yes.
Okay, what else? What's the second?
The second idea would be to double the ball out of his game.
Oh, man. I don't know, man. One guy can guard him. Two guys can guard. We got to do it as a team.
Would you like to be at the head of that? Is that something that you would want, like in Game 6?
For sure. I want to take the challenge, and I would love going to game 6 to be able to guard him. And if coach wants me to do that, I'm ready for that.
So as he says right here, I guess it's Coach Bud to blame for not putting him on KD. I don't know, at some point, when you're the leader of the team, you gotta step up and take the responsibility, in my opinion. And I guess I can understand the fact that Giannis is the main weapon offensively, so maybe the strategy was to save him as much as possible on defense so that he could go all out on the other end. But man, KD was playing alone in this game and he still battled on defense. To me, there had to be some possessions where, if not directly on him, Giannis should have at least been higher up, closer to the perimeter, so that it's tougher for Brooklyn to look for the switch. Instead, this way, Durant got blistering hot, and when the game was on the line, he was able to fire off one last heat check, a contested shot from way downtown, which ultimately sealed it. And this reaction says it all. Of course, we don't know what happens in Game 6 or possibly 7, but to me, this iconic performance by KD, a triple-double with 49 points, 17 rebounds and 10 assists, playing every single second of the game, exactly 48 minutes out of 48 minutes on the court, and having in mind the circumstances of Harden playing injured, Kyrie not playing at all, and the entire focus being on him, to still deliver like this, it was beyond heroic, and reminds me of the legendary Game 6 by LeBron James against the Celtics, where everything was on the line for him and he went God mode to save the season, but his legacy as well. Again, nobody knows what's ahead of us, but this was one of those career-defining moments. And speaking of that, it could possibly come back to haunt Giannis. This was a golden opportunity, an opponent decimated by injuries, up by 17 in a pivotal Game 5, and to crumble like they did in the clutch, that was unbelievable. Charles Barkley made an interesting comment about that crucial turnover that Antetokounmpo had. Take a listen.
You know, Ernie, you know why he fumbled that ball? Why's that? Because he was in a hurry, because he knew they were going to foul him. That's exactly what happened, no doubt in my mind. When you rush like that, you're thinking about getting fouled.
Do you know what's Giannis' free throw percentage for this series against the Nets? 41.7%. And I'm gonna say it again just to make it clear. Antetokounmpo is shooting 41.7% from the foul line for this series. So you know what? Chuck may have not been too far off the truth here. And also, just look at this. This is absolutely inexcusable.
Ernie, ain't no way James Harden should guard this dude. And I don't think guarding him. He said, I don't need no help. And he shoots a fadeaway. Are you kidding me?
Whatever the case may be, the Bucks need to put this one behind and focus on Game 6, as the chance is still there for them wide open. We saw what Durant needed to do for Brooklyn to win, and honestly, I'm not sure that this can happen again in Milwaukee, so we might be headed towards a Game 7 here. And we all know how wild and unpredictable that can be. With Kyrie out and Harden visibly hobbled, the Nets are not out of the woods yet, and there's still a lot of drama left for us to enjoy in this series. Can Brooklyn pull off another miracle on the road, or will the Bucks survive? Let me know in the comments. That's it for now. Subscribe and talk to you in the next one. Peace out. Bang! Bang! A historic performance by Kyrie back from injury. Peace.